everyone, in this video we will cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series in GK Today's Academy Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in Academy Android application. So in this app course you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision ebooks which are optimized for reading on your mobile itself. Apart from it, you are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. Please check our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, let's get started.
Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 9th of October 2021. Starting with very first question. Who has become the first Indian woman cricketer to score a century in Australia? So recently Smriti Mandhana has created a new record by becoming the very first Indian woman to score a century in Australia. And the previously held record in this regard was 58 runs in the second innings of Melbourne Test in the year 1991. So basically Smriti Mandhana scored 127 runs out of 216 balls, which included 22 boundaries and 1 6. Okay. Now these days Manu Bhaker is also in news. Why? Because recently she has made a top podium finish in the ISSF Junior World Championship that was held at Lima, Peru. And obviously she is related to shooting. So she won the gold in individual pistol event as well as in a mixed team pistol with Sarabjot Singh. Fine. So her contribution helped India to rise to the top of the medal tally at the championship. Okay. Also recently, the Indian men's table tennis team that includes G. Sathiyan, Harmeet Desai and A. Sharat Kamal have won the bronze medal at the Asian Championships at Doha, Qatar. Actually, the team lost to the South Korea with the 0-3 point at the semi-finals. So that's why we got bronze. And also to remember that during the event, the Indian women's team secured the 5th position. Okay. Now these days, Abhishek Verma was in news. First of all, he is related to archery. And recently he has been elected to the World Archery Athletes Committee. Fine. And talking about Australia, recently Indian Navy had signed the joint guidance for India-Australia Navy to Navy relationship, following which India has signed terms of reference for the conduct of Navy to Navy talks with Australia. Okay. Question number 2. Adayur and Kuttia tour, which were in the news recently, belongs to which state? First of all, what are these things? Adayur is a variety of chili, while Kuttia tour is a variety of mango. So these products belong to the state of Tamil Nadu. So these products belong to the state of Kerala and they have recently received the GI tag. And talking about GI tag, it is a sign that is used on products that have a specific geographical origin and it is regulated under Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act of 1999. Now talking about some more recent GI products. Recently first consignment of GI certified sweet dish named as Milhi Dana from West Bengal has been exported to Bahrain. Then also GI certified Maduri Jasmine was in news because it has been exported to USA and UAE and it belongs to obviously Tamil Nadu. Then GI certified Bhalia variety of wheat has been exported to Kenya and Sri Lanka and this product belongs to Gujarat. Then there is a variety of banana from Maharashtra. It is Jalgaon banana and it has been exported to Dubai. Then there are 2 products from Bihar which have been exported to UK. First is Jardalu mangoes and second is Shahi Lychee. Also 2-3 months back we have seen that Jammu Kashmir has got GI tag for its Gakki mushrooms. Now you have to tell me at least 3 products from the state of Assam that have been conferred with GI tags. Please write in the comments. Now question number 3. Mitra Shakti is a joint army exercise between India and which country? So the armies of India and Sri Lanka are set to participate in the 12-day military exercise named as Mitra Shakti, which would be held in Combat Training School in Sri Lanka's Ampara. And this is the 8th edition of the joint military exercise between the two countries, and India would be represented by a contingent of 120 personnel. So this exercise is obviously aimed to promote close coordination and interoperability among the two military forces. Fine. Now let's talk about some of the important military exercises. First is exercise Konkan. This is held between India and United Kingdom. Then there is Al-Muhaid Al-Hindi. It is a military exercise that was held between India and Saudi Arabia. Then again there is Zayed Talwar. It was held between India and UAE. Then there is Indra. It is between India and Russia. Then again there is Varuna. It is between India and France. Question number 4. Which institution released a report titled as the State Nutrition Profile? So recently Niti Aayog has launched this particular profile for 19 states and union territories in the country, and it was launched in collaboration with International Food Policy Research Institute, then Indian Institute of Population Sciences, UNICEF, and Institute of Economic Growth. So basically it analyzes the key indicators such as wasting, stunting, anemia, underweight and overweight, along with diabetes and high blood pressure, to discuss about the state nutrition profile. And this profile included key takeaways for children, women and men, and also it identifies the areas where the state has the potential to improve further. Okay. Now apart from it, recently Niti Aayog and Amazon Web Services along with Intel have jointly created a new experiment studio which is located at Niti Aayog Frontier Technologies Innovation Center, New Delhi. So now this premise would serve as an experimentation facility. Okay. Apart from it, recently RBI has mandated all banks to make additional factor authentication by way of OTP for all recurring or repetitive payments of value 5,000 rupees and above, especially for the ones made through credit and debit cards. So this has come into effect from 1st of October 2021. And also RBI has mandated that customers are notified about the scheduled payment 24 hours in advance by the bank. Okay. Also recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi has virtually launched the Jal Jeevan Mission mobile application, and it contains all the details about the mission, including the number of households that received water, quantity of water, etc. So now the application aims to improve awareness among stakeholders and for more transparency and accountability of schemes under the Jal Jeevan Mission. Also, he launched the Rashtriya Jal Jeevan Kosh, in which the contributions can be made by any individual, organization, etc. for providing the tap water connections in every rural household, school, Anganwadi center, etc. Okay. Question number 5. CLAP mission, which was seen in the news recently, is a scheme launched by which Indian state or union territory? First of all, what does CLAP stands for? It is Clean Andhra Pradesh. So obviously it is related to Andhra Pradesh, and it is an initiative of Andhra Pradesh government launched by Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy on Gandhi Jayanti. So it aims to make the state clean with public participation, and under this program over 4,000 garbage collecting vehicles will be deployed across 13 districts of the state, and the state government will distribute 3 color coded dustbins, red, green and blue, to all the 40 lakh households. So now people ought to use them for waste disposal after segregating the waste. Okay. Now apart from it, the country Venezuela is set to launch a new currency that will feature 6 fewer zeros, as the country is facing worst inflation of the world and economic crisis for some years. So the highest denomination of the Venezuela Bolivar had previously been a 1 million Bolivar note, but hereafter the highest denomination for the new currency will be 100 Bolivar, worth a little less than $25. Okay. Then apart from it, the Dubai Expo 2020, which is the world's biggest trade and commerce exhibition, would run for a period of 6 months, starting from 1st of October to 31st of March 2022. And this World Expo, hosted by Dubai, has the theme as Connecting Minds, Creating the Future. Okay. Question number 6. When is the International Day of Non-Violence observed every year? So the birth anniversary of India's father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, is observed as the International Day of Non-Violence every year. So obviously it is celebrated on 2nd of October. So the United Nations General Assembly, in a resolution adopted in the year 2007, established the day as an occasion to spread the message of non-violence through education and public awareness. Now let's talk about some of the important days and themes from the month of September. First of all, on 29th of September, we celebrate World Heart Day. And the theme for this year was Use Heart to Connect. Then on 28th of September, we observe World Rabies Day. And the theme for this year was Rabies, Facts, Not Fear. Can you tell me what is the deadline to end rabies in India? Please write in the comments. Then on 27th of September, we celebrate World Tourism Day. And theme for this year was Tourism for Inclusive Growth. Then on 23rd of September, we celebrate International Day of Sign Languages. And theme was We Sign for Human Rights. Then one last, on 11th of September, we celebrate World First Aid Day. And theme was First Aid and Road Safety. Now you have to tell me, when do we celebrate International Literacy Day? And what was the theme for this year? Let me give you a hint. It is celebrated in the month of September itself. Question number 7. Rodrigo Duterte, who recently announced retirement from politics, is the president of which country? So Philippines President Mr. Rodrigo has recently announced that he is retiring from politics after the end of his term. And also he announced that he will not run for vice president in next year's elections. Actually, as per the Constitution of Philippines, presidents are limited for a single 6-year term. So that's why after completing his tenure, he has now announced his retirement. Now apart from it, Justin Trudeau was in news these days because recently he has been elected as Prime Minister of Canada for the 3rd time. Then apart from it, former SBI chairperson Mr. Rajneesh Kumar has recently been appointed by Andhra Pradesh as its economic advisor. Also, Government of India has appointed Harsh Bhupendra Bangari as the MD of Exim Bank. Then GC Murmu has recently been elected as the chairperson of ASOSAI, means Assembly of Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institution, for the term period of 2024 to 2027, because India is set to host the 16th assembly of this particular event. Okay. Also, under the leadership of Mr. Jayant Sinha, a parliamentary standing committee on finance has been constituted. So now this committee would visit RBI and discuss the separation of debt management functions from the RBI. Now, apart from all these things, the International Financial Services Center Authority has set up an expert panel headed by former Environment and Forest Secretary C.K. Mishra to suggest a framework to develop a world-class sustainable finance hub at IFSC. And it is headquartered in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So actually this is an authority for the development and regulation of financial products, financial services and financial institutions in the International Financial Services Center in India. Okay. Question number 8. Which institution released a discussion paper titled as India's Path to Power, Strategy in a World Adrift? So this has been released by Delhi-based Center for Policy Research. And as per the paper, India should maintain an outward orientation of its economy and avoid being pushed to the margins of regional and global economy. Why? To enhance its growth prospect and improve people's welfare. Okay. And also they recommended that India should further strengthen its partnership with the US, Europe and Japan. Fine. Now apart from it, the Global Financial Stability Report is a semi-annual publication by the International Monetary Fund which gives the detailed review on the stability of global financial markets. So now in the recent report, the IMF has dedicated an exclusive chapter to the cryptocurrency. And under it, IMF mentions that rapid growth of the cryptocurrency ecosystem presents new opportunities, and at the same time it has cautioned about the financial stability challenges. Fine. Now apart from it, the 2021 edition of Global Innovation Index was published by World Intellectual Property Organization, and it shows the latest global innovation rankings of 132 economies based on 81 different indicators. So in this particular index, India ranks 46th. Okay. Also there was an annual report by the US think tank Freedom House named as Freedom on the Net Report. So this report was topped by Iceland and it was further followed by Estonia and Costa Rica. And now you have to tell me what was the India's rank in this particular report. Please write in the comments. Question number 9. Who is the patron-in-chief of the National Legal Services Authority, that is NALSA? So the Chief Justice of India is also the patron-in-chief of NALSA. And why it is in news? Because recently the 6-week-long Pan-India Legal Awareness and Outreach Campaign was launched at Vigyan Bhavan by NALSA. And it was inaugurated by the President Ramnath Kovind on the occasion of Mahatma Gandhi's birth anniversary, that is on 2nd of October. Now apart from it, in the month of August, Supreme Court held that the governor can pardon the prisoners even before they have completed 14 years of prison sentence. So this power of governor now overrides a provision given under section 433A of Code of Criminal Procedure, which basically mandates that sentence of prisoner can be remitted only after 14 years of jail. Also do remember that Article 161 of the Indian Constitution provides the governor of a state with power to grant pardon, respite or remit the punishment of any person convicted of any offence against the law. Fine. So this article is quite important. Also recently, Supreme Court has ruled that Indian Railways must pay compensation to the passengers if trains run late, and hence now Indian Railways have to pay a compensation of 30,000 rupees to a person who misses his flight because of delay. Nice. Now coming to last question. Kangana Ranaut was named the brand ambassador of which state's One District One Product scheme? So recently the Uttar Pradesh government has named actor Kangana Ranaut as the brand ambassador of its ambitious One District One Product program, and this program has been launched with the aim to create product specific traditional industrial hubs across 75 districts of the state, and it aims to reap the benefits of scale in terms of procurement of inputs, availing common services, etc. And also it aims to improve the employment opportunities. Fine. Now recently, Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Anurag Thakur has launched Clean India program from Motilal Nehru Institute of Technology, Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. And the aim is to create awareness, encourage people and make them involved in cleaning waste, and the campaign will be continued till 31st of October. Now talking about some more important brand ambassadors. The brand ambassador of Kerala Adventure Tourism is PR Srijesh. Then brand ambassador of Amway India is Mirabai Chanu, and the brand ambassador of application Cashify is Rajkumar Rao. Do remember that RBI has appointed Neeraj Chopra as brand ambassador for Banking Fraud Awareness Campaign, and Indian cricketer MS Dhoni is the first brand ambassador of Home Lane. Okay, and the brand ambassador of MotoGP is John Abraham. Fine. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.